Hi everyone, welcome to a new video on Entrepreneur Campfire. It's me Louis, and today we're starting a new series where I teach you how to set up your own e-commerce store on the Easy Store platform, step by step, A to Z. Let's get started with part 1 today. First, let me give you an introduction to Easy Store. What are the key features that Easy Store has that can help you build a successful e-commerce business? And how much does it cost to run your e-commerce store on Easy Store? The key feature that Easy Store offers is a plug-and-play, easy-to-use e-commerce CMS platform. This means that even if you don't know how to code, you can easily set up an entire online store within Easy Store. Now, let's take a look at the specific e-commerce features that you can access once you are Easy Store's user. Okay, so the first tool is the promotions tool. If you take a look at any e-commerce website, you'll find that they like to give their customers promotions, a discount here, a free shipping code there. The reason for this is because they want to increase the conversions by reducing the friction between them and the customer. And you can do that easily inside Easy Store because all of these tools are already built in. For example, you can give your customers a discount code, a free gift, a purchase with purchase, and also free shipping, which is very popular these days. So by using any of these tools or a combination of these tools, you'll be able to increase the conversions on your store. The next powerful e-commerce feature that Easy Store can give you is an express checkout. What is an express checkout and why is it important? So the difference between an express checkout and a standard checkout is that a standard checkout sometimes comprises of 2 to 3 different pages. And why don't we like a long checkout? The reason for this is that if the longer the checkout, the higher the friction between your customer and you. Meaning to say that they probably will check out less often compared to if you have just one checkout page where they can fill in all their details and just click on checkout. Alright, so let's take a look at the details of what this one page checkout is about. Okay, so as you can see here, everything is already on the page, on the one page. So right after the add to cart page, they'll go to the checkout page where they'll fill in their information, shipping information and billing information, and then checkout. This makes the whole process easy and would again increase your conversion rates. The next feature that Easy Store has are marketing blogs. So why are marketing blogs important for an e-commerce website? The reason is because it's one of the best places for you to share promotion details or new product details, or even if you want to build yourself, if you're the founder or you have a team, to become thought leaders in your industry. This can be done by sharing maybe informational content, how-to type contents on your blog, and with Easy Store you can easily do that through their blog CMS. Okay, so let's take a look at the details of what this means. Okay, so on top of building your blog, writing and publishing on your blog, you can even get subscribers on your blog. So after they become subscribers to your blog, you can re-engage them on the later date or on the day itself, and then slowly nurture them to become your customers in the future. The next feature that Easy Store has is Abandoned Cart Saver, or in the industry we commonly call this the Abandoned Cart Recovery. I guess by the name you could already guess that it means when somebody comes to your website, they add something to their cart, goes to the checkout page, keys in all their details, but for some reason they don't check out. So these people are very high intent people who are already at the very end of their customer journey, meaning compared to somebody who's just browsing your website, these are people who are more likely to buy, many more times likely to buy. So instead of letting this group of customers just leave your site, Easy Store's abandoned cart saver, what it will do is it will send an email to that customer to tell them, hey, you've left something in your cart. Why don't you check out, or what's stopping you from checking out? So from industry statistics, if you do this, then sometimes you'll get up to 30, about a third of those abandoned cart customers will end up purchasing. So this is yet another tool that's already inside Easy Store that can help you to increase your store conversions. The next tool is the Customer Relations Management, or most people call it CRM. So this is normally a tool where people have already bought from you, they're your customers, they're inside your database, and you use a tool like this to manage your relationship with them. Either maybe knowing when their birthday is and then sending them a discount coupon, or just engaging with them from time to time by blasting an email or letting them know about new promotions that they might be interested in. A CRM tool like this can be very helpful to increase the lifetime value of every customer, which means to say you can resell them over and over again. So as the industry saying goes, it's much cheaper and easier to sell to an existing customer than acquiring a new customer. Next, we have Easy Store's referral marketing feature. What's this feature and how can it help you grow your e-commerce business? Referral marketing simply means that you give your customers their own unique link that they can share with their family and friends. And when their family and friends buy your products through their link, they get a reward. So you can decide what that reward is. Normally, it's some money or a discount code, a gift. So that really depends on you. If you did not have this feature inside Easy Store, I can honestly say that a lot of referral marketing tools out there are actually very pricey if you were to set it up yourself separate from Easy Store. So having this feature already baked into Easy Store can not only help you to increase the conversions, sales, visitors to your store, but also save you a ton of money from having to buy a third-party referral marketing software. So the next feature inside Easy Store is none other than the payment gateways. Payment gateways are essential for any e-commerce store if you want to reduce the manual work of getting your customers to bank into you and then you saying, okay, confirm, your payment is confirmed, so now I'll ship it out. With a payment gateway integrated into your store, this can happen automatically. So your customer can put a product in their cart, check out, make a payment through any of these payment gateways, and once that payment goes through, the order is confirmed and the money is already in the bank, and you can safely start shipping out their products to them. So let's take a look at the different types of payment gateways that Easy Store can integrate with. As you can see here, we have a lot to choose from. Okay, so it says here 40 different payment gateways from all around the world. So if you take a look at the payment gateways, you'll find that it includes a lot of different payment methods. Okay, so if you take a look here, Stripe, PayPal, Braintree, to checkout, Razer, formerly MoPay, iPayday, and so on, can all accept credit card payments. And then you have our local players like EGHL, IP88, BillPlease, Senang Pay, and so on. They can accept Stripe as well, FPX payments. On top of that, you also have e-wallets payment options for your customers. So these include payment methods like Boost, GrabPay, TNG. These are all growing very popular now in Malaysia. Okay. And it doesn't stop here. Okay, so if you look further down, you have Atomy and Split here. These are buy now, pay later solutions that are also growing in popularity in Malaysia and most of Southeast Asia actually. So what these payment solutions provide is, if you have a high ticket item on your store and your customer may not feel comfortable or can afford a single payment, you can offer them split payments. So for Atomy and Split, you can give them 3 months of zero interest payments. So let's say you have a product costing 1,500 and I'm someone who wants to buy it. Maybe I'm a student, I need a new laptop, but what I can pay is only a few hundred a month, and I don't have a credit card. So these Atomy and Split can offer them the option of buying through 2 or 3 splits. So a split of 1,500 will go to like 500 ringgit a month. Okay, 500, 500, 500. So you can offer this as well as so many other payment methods that I've discussed earlier: credit cards, FPX, e-wallet. So there's so many choices for you to go for in Easy Store. Once you have all these options available in your store, it only gives your customers less friction. Like if they see an option that they prefer, they're more likely to check out. So if I prefer FPX, okay, you have the option inside Easy Store, enable it, and there you go. That customer who prefers FPX will be able to select that option. Okay, so maybe if I prefer using Boost Pay, I can do that too. So there are no limits in terms of local payments if you choose Easy Store. The next feature are themes. So if you don't have any kind of web design background, meaning to say you don't know how to use HTML, CSS, and so on to customize your website, themes can be a lifesaver. So inside Easy Store, you have the option of choosing pre-made themes. Okay, so there are a lot of themes to choose from, although I would say compared to some other CMS platforms like Shopify, it's rather limited, but still they're pretty well made for what they are. If you have a physical product store, most of these themes are good enough. Okay, so we can take a look at some of them to give you an idea of what I mean. Okay, so if this candy theme, as you can see, rather modern. You have a lot of sections where you can display your products, feature some products, you have catalog and so on. Okay, so it's very well made, just a little bit limited, but it's still quite good. Okay, on top of being quite pretty, they are also optimized for different devices. So this is for iPad. So as you can see, if your customer is browsing your store on an iPad or like a smartphone, you'll see that it will adjust the size accordingly. It won't be as strange, too large. Okay, so it will be an optimized experience. So these themes are mobile friendly and very pretty, and most likely if you use them, there's no problem convincing your customers that, hey, you're a real business and you're here to serve them. They can trust you. Your products are great. Okay, so that's what these themes can help you to do. So with these pre-made themes inside Easy Store, you don't have to worry about, hey, I can set things up myself inside Easy Store, but what about my storefront? So all these are taken care of with themes already. So the next feature is Easy Store's app marketplace. So what's an app marketplace and how can it help you as an e-commerce business owner? So the app marketplace is where you can find additional apps to extend the features of your store that's not already inside the core of Easy Store. So now let's take a look at what are the apps that are available for you to add. Okay, so as you can see here, the things like announcement bar, buy now. So if you need more features that I see that, okay, I have my Easy Store and I find that I actually want product description tabs. You can go here, add that to your store or Instagram feed. Okay, it's very especially if you run an apparel or fashion niche store, an Instagram feed can be quite useful for you to display your lookbooks or new products and stuff, things like that, just to sync from whatever content that you're already creating and curating for your Instagram account. Okay, so things like that. Okay, so other than that, you also have this, which is the places to sell. So places to sell is just for you to sync your store to popular marketplaces like Shopee, Lazada, or even drop shipping software like Kumo10. Okay, customer service, and so on. So you can explore all of these tools here, all of these apps, and see what are some of the apps that you want to add to your store. By having these apps in the marketplace saves you money from hiring a developer to build custom features for your store. Unfortunately, the number of apps in Easy Store's marketplace is still rather limited, but I do have the confidence that it is growing as we speak. The next feature that Easy Store has is shipping integration. So if you want to offer different kinds of shipping options to your customers, you can do that with Easy Store quite easily. As you can see here, they have integrations with a lot of both domestic as well as international shipping companies. Okay, so you have logistics companies like Post Laju, which are very popular in Malaysia, Nationwide Express, CityLink, and so on. So all of these are available inside your Easy Store for you to just add and then offer them to your customers. Again, just like the payment methods, customers can sometimes be quite picky about the shipping options. So if you can offer them a shipping option that they like, then they're most likely to buy from you. Next, let's talk about Easy Store's mobile app. So this is a pretty cool feature that a lot of our local Malaysian e-commerce platforms don't really offer. So what does this app do, and how can it help you as an e-commerce entrepreneur? Okay, the first really nice thing about this app is that it also functions as a POS, point of sales. So if you have an online store and then suddenly I wanna go sell my products offline, you have a pop-up store, but you want to make sure that your inventory is synced, then having this can be pretty convenient. So you bring this POS wherever you go and then allow your customers to check out from you on the spot. Okay, so lots of features here to support this. Okay, so get paid on the spot. You can even integrate an external terminal to collect payments through MasterCard, Visa, and so on. Provide your customers with discounts, give them receipts or email them receipts. So this is very cool. There's already a barcode scanner inside for you to scan. Okay, so if your customer wants to buy something, can bring it to you, you just scan the barcode and check out like normal. On top of that, you can also use the app to manage your products and inventory. So let's say you want to add a new product or even update the product details, you can do that inside the app. Very convenient if you're always on the go and just want to just change details about your product, or just update the inventory while you're not somewhere where you can open your laptop. Other than that, you can also add more customer information, update your customer information here, even enable your sales channels. So a lot of very cool features inside the app. It's very powerful, very well developed app. So this alone, I think it's worth using Easy Store for. It's very convenient for a lot of e-commerce businesses. Finally, we have the free SSL. So SSL certificates are mostly important for your website these days because it helps to keep your users' data safe. So if you have an SSL certificate, then it's easier for you to use your website to run advertisements on or rank better on Google. With Easy Store, you don't have to pay more for SSL to be enabled on your store. Alright, that's it for the quick introduction to some of the features that Easy Store has to offer to anyone who wants to set up an e-commerce store in Malaysia. Of course, these are not the only features that Easy Store has. In my tutorial in the coming weeks, we'll be exploring more features, going in depth into the different things that you can configure inside Easy Store to help you grow your business. So now, let's take a look at the next part of this video, which is Easy Store's pricing. Pricing is always going to be an important and top of mind consideration for anyone who's thinking about starting their own e-commerce business. So let's take a look at what are the different plans that Easy Store has to offer, and hopefully also give you some advice on which plan you should go for. So if you go to Easy Store's pricing page, you'll find that there are 4 different plans. So the first is the light plan, which starts at 53 ringgit and 10 cents for so you can see here, this is yearly billing. Okay, so then there's the standard plan, which goes to 139 ringgit 30 cents per month, and then business 299 ringgit 40 cents, and then enterprise 1999. Okay, so if you can't or don't want to pay yearly, make sure to toggle this. Okay, if you go for the monthly pricing, it will be higher, sometimes a lot higher. So let's go back again to see what are the savings you can achieve with the yearly pricing. So for the light plan, if you pay yearly, you get 10% off. If you pay yearly for the standard plan, you get 30% off and 40% off on the business plan. So the discounts keep going up, and you save up to 40% on the business plan. Okay, so if you can't or don't want to do pay annually, you can go for the monthly. Okay, so it's 59 ringgit a month on the light plan, 199 for the standard, and 499 business. Enterprise plan doesn't change, but I don't think this is a plan that you can buy outright, so you have to contact them for this. Okay, so for this video, we'll take a look mainly at these 3 plans and compare them to help you decide which plan is for you. Okay, so to go to the detailed comparison, let's just scroll down. Okay, here we can compare the plans. Okay, alright, so as you can see here, the main difference between light, standard, business, when you look at the plan basics, is location, sales channels, user accounts, products, app integrations, and so on. Okay, so location. Okay, what does this mean? Display self pickup location. So if you go on the light plan, they can only pick up from one location. So if example, you're doing COD, or you're offering just pick up option for your shop, then you can only offer at one location. If you go for the standard plan, you have 3 and 10 for the business plan. Okay, so sales channel, how many do you want to enable? So if you only want to sell it for a few channels, then the light plan is suitable. But if you want to go for a lot of different channels, then the standard and business plan would be more suitable. And then the user account. So user account normally includes your staff. So if you have a small team, then 2 accounts on the light plan would be okay. But if you have a larger team, very big team, standard and business would be better respectively. Okay. Product uploads. Okay, so 1,000 products on the light plan is pretty generous, I would say. But if you have more than 1,000 products, you need to go above light plan. Okay, apps, as we've seen earlier, from the App Store, App Marketplace in Easy Store, how many apps can you integrate? Okay, 5. I think it's pretty good for a small shop. But if you wanna have more integrations, then you can go for the standards or business plan. All plans include the Easy Store mobile app. Okay, so let's take a look now at the sales channels. Okay, as you can see here, there are some differences between the light, standard, and business. So this is the light, this is the standard, and this is the business. Okay, so as you can see here, for light and standard, they actually include the same channels available. It doesn't mean that you'll be able to enable all these channels. It just means that these are available to you. So on the light plan, you can enable 2 out of these, and on the business, you can enable 7. Okay, so if you want to enable referral marketing, you'll need to go for the business plan. Okay, remember we talked about the referral marketing and the POS as well. Okay, so the app as well. So if you want to do referral marketing, like let people share their links with their friends, that's the plan you need to be on, as well as POS. So if you do the pop-up thing, you'll need to go on the business plan. Okay, so next, the payment and logistic. Okay, so here you can see that the Lite plan is quite limited. They only offer three out of 5, which is the multi-currency integrated payments, so the basic stuff. But the one-click checkout, which I mentioned earlier, okay, the advantage of having the express checkout, one-page checkout, okay, both of these are only available above the Lite plan. So if you want to take advantage of these checkout features, you need to go for either the standard or business plan. Okay, so coming down to the marketing. Okay, so again, very limited for the Lite plan. Okay, as you can see, search engine optimized product recommendations. Okay, so there's a difference here. So Pro is a more advanced recommending algorithm. Okay, so that's only available on the business plan. Okay, but discounts and vouchers are. Okay, so things like customer grouping, all of these, you have to go on the standard plan, and then if you want to disable the Easy Store logo, okay, again, that's a business plan solution. The broadcast center, okay, so if you want to re-engage your customers by sending them okay, so you can see here, email, messenger, SMS line, you need to be on the business plan. Okay, so phone account login, so if your customers want to log in with their phone numbers, that's also a business plan feature. Okay, so as you can see here, these plans, they differ quite a bit, and it really depends on what your store, the size of your store, what features are non-negotiable for you, what features are good enough for you. Okay, so I would assume that for a small store just starting out, if you're a solopreneur, then the Lite plan, I think it's pretty good. It has all the basic features that you would need to run your store. But if you grow a little bit and you start to have a few staff that needs to log into your store to update stuff or even clear orders, things like that, then you need to go for the standard plan. Business plan, definitely if you have a very big store, where there are a lot of customers ordering from you and a lot of staff managing your store, then the business plan is the best one for you. Of course, if even then your needs exceed the business plan, then you need to consider the enterprise plan instead. Okay, so but at the same time, it's not only about the size of your store. As you can see here, there are things that are pretty nice to have in business that are not included anywhere else, like referral marketing and point of sales. So even if you have a very small store, right, but if you want to take advantage of the referral marketing engine here, you need to go on the business plan. This can be quite powerful. Let's say you have a business that is effective when using referral marketing, then this can be a channel you want to enable that's not available on the cheaper plans. Other than that, these one-click checkout, one-page checkout, these are quite important conversion features. And even if you run a small store, but you want to just increase your conversions, this can be a good reason to go to the standard plan instead. On top of that, there's also these abandoned cart auto recovery features here that is not available in the Lite plan. So again, as I mentioned, these can help you to improve your conversions by quite a bit. So this is something probably you want to enable in your store. So even if it's a small store, but if you receive a significant amount of sales, or if your sales are actually quite big and it actually justifies you paying $199 a month for 199 ringgit a month for the standard plan, then go for it. Okay, so 3 things you want to consider here. Of course, you want to consider your budget, so it doesn't make sense for you to spend a lot of money if you don't have it, or it doesn't justify that expense yet. Maybe have you're just starting out, it doesn't justify it. Okay, so consider the budget, the size of your shop. Okay, so if it's just you running it, you don't have that many products, you don't need multiple staff logins, you actually don't even have a lot of pickup locations, then maybe just go for the cheapest plan. The third thing is the features. Okay, so even if your store is very small, but there are some features that are missing in the cheaper plan that's only available in the more expensive plan, then you might want to get that instead. So let's say you're sold on the features of Easy Store and you're excited to get started with your own store, but you're unsure yet if you want to pay the premium price to get on a paid plan. Good news for you is that you can get started with a free trial. So Easy Store offers a 14-day free trial for you to test out everything in the store. You can have access to everything that they offer, and if you like what they offer, then you can sign up for a paid plan. So to get on the free trial, all you have to do is go to the home page, and you can see on the very top of the page there is a button there which says get started. Next to enter email and free 14-day trials, etc. So all you have to do is key in your email here, okay, and then click on get started. Go through this process. Okay, so I'm just gonna choose that. Okay, so once they've created your store, you need to verify your email before you can get started with your Easy Store. So I'm gonna do just that. Okay, so as you can see here, you'll receive an email from Easy Store asking you to verify your account. Okay, so go all the way. Okay, so just click on verify. Okay, so now that you verified your account, just log in. Okay, so I've used my Google account. You can use anything and use that method to go into your account. Alright, so that's it. That's how you set up your free trial. So as you can see, you have access to everything here. Okay, so it's pretty easy to set up your free trial. You don't even need to key in your credit card information. So if you're interested to follow this tutorial, make sure to get started with a free trial or sign up for a paid plan. So this is it for part 1 of this Easy Store tutorial, where I will teach you how to set up your own e-commerce store with the Easy Store platform. To recap, we've taken a look at 1. The key features that Easy Store has to offer you so you can have a very successful e-commerce business. 2. The different pricing plans and my advice on which one to pick based on your budget, the features you're looking for, and the size of your store. And 3, I've shown you how you can set up a 14-day free trial on Easy Store to test out everything inside the platform before you decide to jump on a premium plan. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial and learned something new about Easy Store today. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you want more content like this, or if you're looking forward to part 2 of the Easy Store tutorial, remember to subscribe to this channel. And I'll see you again next time. Bye bye.